You have said that in the very seeing there is action. Is this action the same as the expression of action? If not, is there a connection between the two? And how do they possibly relate to suppression? You have said that in the very seeing there is action. You understand? Is this action the same as the expression of action? If not, is there a connection between the two? And how do they possibly relate to suppression? You have said that in the very seeing there is action. Is this action the same as the expression of action? If not, is there a connection between the two? And how do they possibly relate to suppression? What the speaker said was, if we remember rightly, that in observation, the very observation is action. There is an observation of greed, observation, which is to observe without any distortion, without motive, without saying, I must go beyond it and all that. Just to observe this greed movement. And that very observation sees the whole movement, not just one particular form of greed, but the whole movement of greed. And that movement, that perception, that seeing, that observation ends the movement. That's what he calls action. There is no interval, this I must forgive me if I'm going to a little bit more. There is no interval in seeing and acting. One must be careful here. It's not impulsive acting. It's not saying, I feel like it and I act. That's what we're all doing. But what we are saying is that in observing greed, I'm taking that as an example, in observing greed, hatred, violence, whatever it is, if that observation, when that observation is completely non-directive, right, then there is no interval between the seeing and the acting. Whereas we have intervals. Seeing, concluding, abstracting an idea, and then carrying out that idea, which is the interval between the creation of an idea and the acting of that idea. I don't know if you follow me. If you observe yourself, this is what goes on. This time interval is the in which there is all kinds of other problems arise. Whereas the seeing is the very movement of ending greed. Now, the questioner says, is this action the same as the expression of action? You understood it? Is this the same as the expression of action? That is, you see a cobra, a snake. There is instant expression of self-preservation, self-protection. which is natural, healthy, and so on. Unless you are some kind of peculiar person, then you play with these things. But the self-possessive instinct is immediate, to run away or do something about it. There, the action has given, the seeing has expressed itself in action, physical action. Right? We are talking of not only physical observation, but also the observation with the whole of your mind. Not partial observation, which we do, but to be so attentive that it's the whole of the mind. If you can do this. I don't know if you have tried all these things. That is to give complete attention. Right? That means attention implies there is no center from which you are attending. I don't know if you follow this. Must have gone into all this. All right. When you concentrate, it is from a center, from a point to point. I don't know if you understand. Therefore, it's limited, restricted, narrow. Whereas attention is not, it has no center. You attend. I don't know if you follow me. If you now, forgive me, may I point out, if you're really attending now, you will see you're not attending from a point. Right? So find out for yourself you're willing. I'm not persuading you anything of the kind. It's not group therapy and all that business. If you're willing, just observe, just see if you can completely attend. That is what you are. You hear, you see, you feel, everything in your mind is alive, attentive. Then you will find out that there is no point from which you are attending, from a point to point. It is, in that attention, there is no border. Whereas concentration has a border. If not, is there a connection between the two? And how do they possibly relate to suppression? I'm not quite sure I understand the question. Is there a connection between the two? That is the physical action. See, when you see a danger, you move away immediately. And the action, the perception, the observation, which ends a particular reaction, as Paul Green, ending totally, not partially. The questioner asks, is there a connection between these two? And how do they possibly relate to suppression? There is no suppression. I don't know. Okay, all right, let's take greed, as we did the day before yesterday. Greed, we all know how it arises, what its responses, and so on. In observing greed, if there is a division between the observer and the observed, that is, there is greed, and I say I am greedy, which means I am separate from that thing called greed. Right? You're following? Well, so this separation, in this separation, there is either conflict, suppression, overcoming it, and so on, all the travail that comes about in this division. But this division actually doesn't exist if you go into it. What is greed? Greed is me, is the observer. Right? I wonder if you understand. May go on. Greed is not separate from the person who is observing, as though you are different from the observer. We are saying the observer is the observed, which doesn't mean I observe the tree, I am the tree. I would end up in an asylum. But we are saying when there is this reaction, which is named as greed, that greed is not different from the me who is observing. So you eliminate altogether the division. There, in that, there is no suppression. You follow? You are that. If you come to that point, you understand, when you say, yes, I am that, not as an idea, but as an actuality, then there's a totally different movement takes place. I don't know if you have tried it. After these weeks of talking, you must have tried one of these things. If you have, you must have found out. Test it. That is, the total absence of conflict, which is an extraordinary thing because you have broken the pattern of this division which creates conflict.